Greetings and welcome to another impressions video here at Words About Games, and today we're going to be looking at World War Z. World War Z is a multiplayer focused third-person zombie shooter based on both the movie and novel of the same name. The game puts players through 4 campaigns set in different parts of the world, experiencing short stories of people trying to survive a worldwide zombie apocalypse, as well as featuring a set of PvPvE modes that put a zombie twist on standard competitive multiplayer rule sets. Let's get real for a second. Valve ain't making Left 4 Dead 3. It's been almost 10 years since the last release, and anyone looking for that series' unique blend of cooperative zombie shooting action has had to look elsewhere for a long while now. Enter World War Z, a game that builds itself on the foundation of Valve's seminal zombie shooter and crafts its own twists and ideas on top of it. Anyone who's played Left 4 Dead will find World War Z almost immediately familiar. Each episode is split into multiple chapters. There are 4 characters making their way through various levels, shooting zombies and completing objectives that usually bring hordes of zombies down on them. Heck, there are even special infected taken almost verbatim from Left 4 Dead. The Creeper hides around corners, pouncing on players and incapacitating them, where the Bull sucks tons of damage and charges at them. Sound familiar? It's a good base for a co-op shooter though, and Saber Interactive have been smart about how they've drawn their inspirations from Left 4 Dead, because while it can seem a bit too familiar at times, there's a lot that Saber have done to differentiate World War Z from its spiritual predecessor. And I'm not just talking about the switch in perspective from first person to third person. First of all, I need to talk about the best thing World War Z does: the zombies. There are moments where there are quite literally hundreds of zombies rushing towards you, and it's in these moments that World War Z is at its best. This generally tends to happen at specific moments in the game, usually when you're tasked with loudly opening a door or defending a specific location. You'll be given some time to prepare your defences. Scouring the area will reveal weapons, ammo equipment and medkit caches, and automated defences, such as machine gun emplacements, barbed wire and more, that you can set up to help you repel a swarm of zombies. Once the time elapses, or you trigger the assault yourself, it's you versus probably hundreds, if not thousands of zombies. These moments are fantastic. Zombies pour into levels from afar, crash around corners like a tidal wave, and climb onto each other to form towers to reach you if you're in an elevated position. Fighting during these moments is tense, as you need to not only be aware of zombies running towards you, but also manage swarms slightly further afield lest you get completely overwhelmed. The mechanics that go into the swarms are really clever. Shooting at the base of a zombie pyramid, which is literally what the game calls them, as opposed to the zombies near the top, will cause the whole thing to topple over, for example. But when you're not defending yourself against hundreds of oncoming zombies, the game can be quite dull. This is where the game becomes a bit too much like Left 4 Dead, as you'll be dodging special infected, taking out stragglers, and dealing with the occasional mini-swarm that heads your way. I mean, the combat is fine, but being constantly harassed by zombies gets kind of annoying, especially as World War Z places some emphasis on exploring its environments to find hidden loot caches. Even when you're trying to set up defences for an impending swarm, you'll probably be attacked, which robs you of precious time to set up and robs the huge swarms of some of their impact. The game might have benefited from a less is more approach to how it handles the pacing of its enemy encounters. And while it's fun enough to play through, it's not really memorable, and after finishing all the chapters of the campaign, I don't really feel any great urge to replay it, something that a game like this relies on. Sure, there are a couple of progression systems that let you unlock more powerful versions of the guns you can find in the world, and let you upgrade different classes you select as you head into a chapter. But the impacts these upgrades have on the gameplay feels minimal, and there's not enough in World War Z's missions that make me think, heck yeah, I want to play that again. It probably also doesn't help that the game has no private lobbies, meaning I can team up with my friends, but if there are less than 4 of us, the team gets filled out with random players, and you'll probably end up joining a match that's midway through a level, making online co-op pretty useless. Just like the AI bots you'll be stuck with if you play offline, who can shoot zombies, but can literally do nothing else. They can't use equipment, can't change weapons, can't help with objectives, can't stay out of the way when I'm shooting. Hell, they can't even pick up and use medkits. Aside from the campaigns, World War Z also has PvP multiplayer, with its own maps taken from areas of the co-op levels, progression, and classes. It's a fairly standard assortment of modes, deathmatch, king of the hill, etc., but sometimes zombies show up, which force you to get the heck out of the way or be completely swept aside by a zombie tidal wave. Playing PvP killed an hour or so for me, and it's certainly not terrible, but it's not something I feel particularly bothered about going back to either. The laggy server connection doesn't really help, which makes player movement feel really stuttery and hit detection incredibly inconsistent. So World War Z is a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, and not just because it rhymes. And in that regard, it's basically okay. I had a decent amount of time playing thanks to the fun weapon variety, solid combat mechanics, and the awesome number of zombies you can encounter at once. But at the same time, I don't really feel a strong urge to go back and play more of it. It's fine, without ever really being anything more than that. If you're looking for a cooperative zombie shooter to play with some friends, you can do a lot worse. But aside from the zombie swarms, there's nothing really particularly memorable or compelling about this game. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a comment, like, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got tons of awesome videos coming every week, including review impressions, indie game of the week, debate-driven top 5 lists, video essays, and our weekly podcast where we discuss games, gaming culture, and the games industry. We also stream 3 times a week at twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. But most importantly, have a fantastic day.